Welcome back, folks. I'm Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon, The Blackest Heart, The Lonesome Crown, all published by Simon & Schuster Saga Press. Once again, we are going to be doing a Stephen King book review. The Regulators. That's right. If you've been following my reviews, I've been reading and reviewing every Stephen King book in order of publication. We're probably about halfway through with The Regulators now. We did Desperation. You can go watch that video. Actually, you can go watch any of the videos. Just type in my name, Brian Lee Durfee, Stephen King. All of the reviews will come up. There's like about 30 of them, 32 of them now. We're to The Regulators, which originally was a Bachman book. So when Desperation came out by Stephen King, the same day this book, The Regulators, came out by Richard Bachman, it was a companion novel to Stephen King's Desperation. We all know that Richard Bachman is the pseudonym that Stephen King has written a lot of his books under. So, when it came out in paperback, they just went ahead and threw his real name on there to sell more copies, because a lot of people haven't figured out yet that Richard Bachman and Stephen King are the same dude. That's right. We review the covers, too. Hey, man, there's, what can you say about these covers? The paperback one is a little, This one, the original hardcover one, is pretty dope because it matches its companion novel here, Desperation, which you can see. They kind of go hand in hand. And there's a lot of things that tie both of these books together, which we'll get into. We'll put these back here. If I'm to give a thumbs up or thumbs down to the covers, I give a thumbs down to this one. Wah, wah, wah. This one gets a thumbs up, though. It's good. It's good, I'm also, in my reread of all these books, I'm listening to them on audible.com. The narrator for this on audible.com was Frank Mueller. Did a stellar job. He has narrated quite a few of the Stephen King novels that I've listened to on audible.com. So, what's this about? I gotta tell you something, man. I will say right here and now that The Regulators, probably the best opening scenes to a Stephen King novel ever. This whole book takes place in one afternoon on a lonely suburban street in Illinois, one of the Midwestern states. I forget. Probably should have remembered. I probably should have jotted that down. Anyway, small town in the Midwest, one street, and we get to know. And the thing that's cool about this book is there's a map of the street where each of the characters live. And if you'll notice, the characters are the same characters from Desperation. Hell, I'll just put this up here right now so we can, because we're going to keep referring to it. All the characters in Desperation are also in The Regulators. But it's like an alternate universe. Desperation took place in Desperation, Nevada. This book takes place in a small town in the Midwest. They're parallel universes, all the same names all the same names, but not the same characters, if that makes sense. It will if you read both books. The names are interchangeable. It's like a parallel universe type of thing. You have to read the book to figure it out. But anyway, I love this map with all the characters. We get to see where everybody's house is, because every bit of action takes place right here on this street and amongst these houses and the surrounding woods. And what is the action? Well, it starts out, it's just a normal Saturday afternoon. It might be a Sunday afternoon or a morning. I don't know. Just a normal day on the street. People are mowing their lawns. There's a newspaper boy throwing newspapers. There's a couple of the kids walking down the street to the 7-Eleven on the corner. And then there are the Regulators. And the Regulators are these dudes that show up in these muscle cars or muscle vans. They show up in what would be like the craziest, wonkiest looking Hot Wheels cars you can imagine. Just the windows tinted out, the vans are jacked up, and they got the big powerful engines poking out the hoods, and they got the windows all tinted dark, and they got weird satellites growing out the top. They just look like they look like super muscle car vans hopped up from outer space kind of thing, and they start coming cruising down the neighborhood slow. And they the regulators, right? Nobody knows, but people are like, hey, that's a pretty funky van on the street. That's kind of what they think, And then there's also I think it's a FedEx truck driving up the street too, or a Ryder van. I can't remember, but there's a dude So anyway, these monsters pop out of these vans, right? Just out of the hood, out the windows. They got their Uzis and their guns and their shotguns and shit. And that they're freaky monsters. They're wearing masks. They're wearing masks like the My Chemical Romance guy here. They're wearing weird shit like this, And they start shooting up the street. They kill a few people immediately right off the get-go, freak everybody out, and then it's like game on, right? These guys, these shooters, these freaky outer space fucking regulator guys are out here just in this neighborhood to cause havoc. Why? We don't know. But it's all tied into the all the magic of between the two worlds, the parallel universes is tied together between Desperation, Nevada and town in the Midwest, right? And I love it. I love it. One of the greatest, most bloody, gruesome, pulse-pounding openings to a Stephen King novel ever. And really, the tension never really lets up. It's just a chase from there on out. These regulators, who are the regulators? They're just this wacky group of people that's tied to this TV show, this weird parallel universe. You know how Stephen King just pulls stuff in out of the supernatural atmosphere and just throws it into his story. Well, that's kind of what it is, but it's a mix between like this old-time TV show called The Regulators and then the real TV show called Bonanza, if you can remember that. And it's just got a mishmash of a lot of stuff. And then it's just a relentless hunting down of the people on the street. All these people in all these houses, we get to follow each one of them as the regulators slowly hunt them down through the neighborhood and their houses and in and out of their houses and in and out of the woods surrounding them. It's just a relentless chase. Relentless chase. And I got to tell you, it's so relentless that you kind of get a little bit bored with the relentless. Your eyes need a place to rest. It's kind of like everything is just popping off just like that, like rapid. I mean, it just keeps going. And you notice how I'm doing this like this. You're hoping that I stop at any moment. You don't want me to keep doing this because this would suck, right? If everything was just going like this and this and this and this and this and this. Sometimes you just need a chance to breathe before it starts up again. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the way this book is. It's just nonstop. Freaky weird dudes and freaky weird muscle cars just hunting down people in that neighborhood. And it goes on and on and on. And so that's the one little drawback. Everything else is just super massively awesome. Stephen King, awesome. And that's about it. Pretty much a review. I don't want to tell you too much more than that, other than, that's what happens. And you get the little map of the neighborhood, and you can kind of, if you want to, you can kind of keep track of who's alive and who's dead and whose house gets blown up. And then you can just mark them off as you go. That's kind of funny. Okay, he's dead. He's gone. Okay, they killed him. The regulators found that one. Okay, they burnt up that house. That guy committed suicide. Okay, those kids, they ran off into the woods. Oh, yeah, you can keep track of all that with the map. It's fun. It's like a little game. But anyway, I like this book. Did I like it as much as Desperation? Its companion novel? Not quite as much. I actually like Desperation a little bit more than The Regulators, although The Regulators was freaking dope. Let's give The Regulators by Stephen King, a.k.a. Richard Bachman, let's give it a 8 out of 10.